Yo, what's up, guys? The Toronto Maple Leafs have finally done it, guys. They will not be extending Brendan Shanahan's contract, leaving the team, guys, after 11 seasons as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. And, guys, what can I say? That's one suitcase gone. If you guys don't get that joke, go watch my video of Game 7's reaction, guys, at Leafs vs. Panthers, and you'll understand the joke. But, guys, I'm so glad that the Toronto Maple Leafs have finally decided to go in a different direction regarding Brendan Shanahan, guys. Now, I will say this, Brendan Shanahan did some really good things for the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys, but he also did some really bad things that absolutely screwed this team in their future, guys. Obviously, we all know that Brendan Shanahan, like I said, guys, he did some solid things, brought Legends Row, retired all the players' jerseys, former players. He was able to get Austin Matthews as the first overall pick. Leafs were able to make the playoffs their first year with the rookies, with Marner, Matthews, Nylander, and they had a pretty competitive series against the Washington Capitals. Obviously, they lost that series in 6 games, guys. He also was able to hire the best head coach available at the time, which was Mike Babcock, of course. And obviously, we know what happened with Mike Babcock, guys, but when Brendan Shanahan first got Mike Babcock, we all thought it was a stroke of genius. If you guys remember Mike Babcock's first press conference, he goes, yeah, well, I signed an 8-year deal, and then I'm going to sign an extra 2 because the team's going to be that good. And then we obviously saw what happened with Babcock and Mitch Marner making him write that list and then doing it in front of the whole team, saying Kadri was obviously the guy with the least amount of work ethic. And then obviously we saw what Kadri did 3 to 4 years later with the Colorado Avalanche. So that obviously we saw was a disaster, of course. But at the beginning of it, guys, it looked like a stroke of genius. Like I said, it was a really good move by him, doing a good job with the legends. Drafting Matthews. So for all, like I said, playoffs, some solid things for Brendan Shanahan as president of the Maple Leafs, guys. He inherited a mess with this team. On top of it, this team was an absolute disaster when he came in. So he did a really good things, flipping this organization around, turning them into a world-class organization, guys. The Leafs are one of the best organizations in the NHL by far, and they weren't like that before Brendan Shanahan came in. So you got to give him some credit where credit is due there, guys. But I think Brendan Shanahan did a lot more harm to the Toronto Maple Leafs than he did good for this hockey team, guys. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is giving a 35-year-old Kyle Dubas the reins as general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. That right there, guys, for me, was the absolute worst thing for Brendan Shanahan to do, was give Kyle Dubas the GM job. You had a guy like Lou Lamoriello, who was a veteran. You had Mark Hunter there. 2 guys that knew how to do their job. Mark Hunter wanted the job after Lou Lamoriello's contract wasn't getting renewed. And what does Brendan Shanahan do? He gives the bloody GM job to Kyle Dubas. And then we obviously saw what happened with Kyle Dubas. I bet you Matthews and Marner called each other up. Austin, did you see what Shanny just did? He just gave Dubas the job. We're going to take this guy to the bloody cleaners with our next contracts. And that's exactly what they did. That was the number one thing that Brendan Shanahan did that screwed this team and their future, guys, was letting Matthews and Marner take Kyle Dubas to the cleaners, getting the contracts that they did, completely screwing this team's cap up and ruining their future to get any depth on their team and making this team a way more stronger team down the wings, defensively, of course. But Matthews and Marner said, no, give me my money. And that's what happened, guys. And we obviously saw what another thing that Kyle Dubas did. Listen, guys, you guys might think this is a bit controversial, but signing John Tavares really screwed this team up royally, guys. And the guy they traded to bring John Tavares in Nazem Kadri. Nazem Kadri making a $4.5 million, I'm pretty sure at the time. We all loved Kadri's physicality. We loved his passion. But the Maple Leafs organization, their brass, didn't like that about Nazem Kadri. Now, I understand Kadri took those 2 suspensions against the Bruins. I understand completely. But I think we can all agree now that we wanted more guys like Nazem Kadri in this hockey team. And look what Dubas traded him for. Look what he traded him for. Alex Kerfoot and Tyson Barrie. You guys are telling me that didn't screw this team? Look what happened to Barrie. He left after a year. Kerfoot, we all remember what that guy did against Tampa in 22. The 2 detrimental plays that guy made against Tampa Bay, guys. So those are 2 things that really grind my gears in regarding the Toronto Maple Leafs under Brendan Shanahan's watch. Another thing on top of it, in 2019, look what happened against the Montreal Canadiens. You blow a 3-1 series lead. Shanahan, Dubas, and Keith should have all been out the door. All three of them should have had suitcases after the 2020 COVID year, when you blow a 3-1 lead to the Montreal Canadiens. And obviously they went to the Cup final, but still, that doesn't do it any good. That this team here kept on saying, oh, we believe in the core four. We know they can do it. You just lost to a Montreal Canadiens team that was so garbage, and you found a way to blow it. That's another thing, guys. And then another thing, letting Zach Hyman walk to free agency and go into bloody Edmonton for the money that he did. You know, that was one of the biggest things that screwed the Leafs, was letting a guy like Zach Hyman go, a Toronto kid, walk out the door the way he did, guys. Just inexcusable by the Toronto Maple Leafs to give all the money to Matthews, Marner, Nylander at the time. We all remember what Willie did. But he held out for 4 or 5 months. He was in Sweden until December, until he finally signed that deal for $6.9 million a year. It looks like a bargain now because Willie's such a great player. But still, they let that shit happen under his watch. Inexcusable for a guy of Brendan Shanahan's ilk. This guy's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Showed grit. He was a good goal scorer, but he was mean as nails. And then he becomes the president of the Leafs. Oh, you know, guys, I'm going to call to you. I'm going to believe in you for 11 bloody years. This guy kept on spewing nonsense to us. I believe in the core four. We can get it done. We're a good team. We got all the pieces. We're right there. It was all. I think we all got tired of it after the 1920 season when they lost to the Habs. That was just it for Brendan Shanahan, guys. And then look at this: two first round wins, guys, in the 11 years he's been here. It's an absolute failure, the Shanahan plan. He did not do a good enough job to build this team properly, guys. And he let a guy like Kyle Dubas run this team to the ground with the contracts. Not saying the team was bad, but the team had no cap flexibility to make this team better and circle Matthews and Marner with tough guys who can be physical and those who can score and have all the skill they want. That was because of guys like Dubas and Shanahan, guys. And then look what Canada. Look at Canada losing to the Danes today. Who was the GM? Kyle Dubas. Once again, not building the right team to get a championship in the World Championship, guys, for Canada. The guy can't be trusted. I feel sorry for Penguins fans because they're going to have that guy for a very long time. He ain't going to do a good job, guys. I'm sorry, he ain't. You guys are in big trouble with Kyle Dubas, the Pittsburgh Penguin fans, because that guy there caused some serious problems for the team. Look what he did to Shanahan at the end. He wanted his job. He screwed him over big time, guys, trying to get that job, and Shanahan had to fire him. Now, another thing I hate what Brendan Shanahan does, he hovers over the GM. You know, like Brad Treliving, has to get the approval. Brad Treliving's got to get approval from Shanahan every time. Oh, Shanahan, I got a good deal on the table here. Is it involving one of the core four? Oh, yeah, it is. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. That was the one thing that was the demise of Brendan Shanahan, was refusing to move off the core four. Mitch Marner, he's so damn lucky that he had a no movement clause. He'd be in Carolina right now, getting his ass handed to him by the Panthers. I don't care if they're in the conference final right now, Carolina. And I don't care about all that other nonsense. All right? We all know that if Kyle Dubas doesn't give Mitch Marner that no move clause on the final year of his contract, he's in Carolina. Mikko Rantanen's a Leaf. Do not blame Marner for why he turned down that move. It's not his fault. He had the power to do it. It was all Dubas' fault for giving him that power, and Shanahan for allowing it. Brendan Shanahan was like a parent and Dubas was the kid. Had to watch every move he made because he didn't trust him. Well, I'm glad he did that for a couple trades, but still, the trades that Shanahan needed to make, he didn't make them. He didn't let Dubas make them, and he nixed a lot of deals, guys. Nixed a shit ton of them. I can't think of any at the time, but I know he nixed deals. Multiple deals. And I know that he was the reason why Brad Treliving could not trade Mitch Marner before his no-move clause kicked in. This was all Shanahan's fault. And he deserves to be fired, guys. I'm sorry. If anybody wanted Brendan Shanahan to stay, you don't care about the Leafs. I'm sorry, you don't. It's about winning 4 rounds, not 2. If the Leafs had beaten Florida, they'd probably get to the Cup final. I think they beat Carolina. But they didn't do it. Now it's time for change. Good on Keith Pelley to finally say enough is enough now. It's been 11 years. Brendan Shanahan did some good things, but he did some really detrimental things, guys. Okay, like I said, you cannot allow somebody to stay as president for this long with such little success. He was very lucky to be the president for this long, guys. Extremely lucky. Now, Brad Treliving is obviously staying as GM. I got all the faith in Brad Treliving. He might even get the promotion to president. Who knows? It's not a guarantee. Keith Pelly's going to do a press conference tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Should be very interesting to see, guys. But for me, guys, Brendan Shanahan needed to go sooner rather than later. You know, he trusted Dubas to hire a guy like Sheldon Keefe. No NHL coaching experience. Another massive mistake by Brendan Shanahan. There was just more, if you guys ask me, there was more bad than good with being the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Brendan Shanahan's tenure, guys. Just too many bad things. Like the contracts was like destroyed this team's salary cap, destroyed them. Giving Tavares $77 million for 7 years hurt this team's cap. Should have kept Kadri, should have re-signed Hyman. This team might have been in a way different position. Look, Kadri's a Stanley Cup champion, for Christ's sakes. And look what he said when they won the cup. He said, whoever said I was a detriment, kiss my ass. You know what? I bet you that was directed right to Dubas and Shanahan. Kiss my bloody ass. And I'm glad Kadri did that. Because a guy like him, we need on this team. We need more grit, like I said. More dogs on this team. And Shanahan and Dubas wanted little boys fluttering around the ice with skill. Not good enough for the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. We want blue-collar players in this team. And now we got guys like Matthew Knies who need to be extended. I trust Brad Treliving is going to get that done. I don't think Mitch Marner's coming back, guys. I think he's gone. The Leafs have a lot of cap room to deal with. If John Tavares wants to come back, he better take very little money. $3.5 to $4 million. That's all I'm giving John Tavares. He doesn't want that. The door's over there, buddy. You can get yourself a suitcase, like I said in my last video. Get him a suitcase as well. Get Marner a suitcase. Tavares. I don't know what's up with Morgan Riley. I know he's got a no-move deal and he's got a length on his contract. But I would seriously tell him, give me a list. Tell me where you want to go. And we're moving on from you. Because that guy there is a major detriment to this team, guys. And Kyle Dubas is the one who gave Morgan Riley that 7-year deal, $7.5 million. Sure, it was a cheap deal compared to guys like Nurse who are making $9 million. But Morgan Riley does not deserve that kind of money. I'm sorry, he does not. And that was all under Shanahan's watch, guys. Just too many negative things under Brendan Shanahan that hurt this team. We're watching former Maple Leafs in the playoffs, guys, doing really good things for the league, doing good things for other teams, guys. You know, it's inexcusable for Brendan Shanahan to be the president for this long. The shit he let Kyle Dubas do, the deals he nixed, the deals he prevented. Like, I'm sorry, guys. This was the right move and the right time for the Toronto Maple Leafs to move on. Even if they don't hire a president. You let Treliving do his thing. He talks to Pelly. And that's it, guys. Maybe give Brendan Pridham a promotion. I don't know, guys. But there was a lot of things. Look what happened in this playoffs, guys, against the Florida Panthers. 6-1 in Game 5 and Game 7. And we wanted to keep Brendan Shanahan. If he had the nuts to go up to the podium, if the Leafs extended and say, yeah, we're close, we're there, I would have lost my shit. Thank God they're not doing that. They obviously gave him permission to speak to the Islanders. Hopefully he goes to the Islanders. The Islander fans have been wanting to get back at the Leafs since we took John. Take Brendan Shanahan. Take Mitch Marner. Go ahead. You guys will realize quickly what we didn't want anymore. Take our scraps. Go right ahead. Even though Mitch Marner is a 100-point player, guys, it's just time for a change. Brendan Shanahan is the first domino to fall. Hopefully there's a few more dominoes to fall, guys, on top of it, because there needs to be more changes other than Brendan Shanahan. There needs to be, guys. And he did some good things, like I said at the beginning. But I just feel the things that he did at the end, guys, were just inexcusable. Couldn't get goaltending. Couldn't get a solid decor because you're paying all these guys up top. Couldn't find any depth in your bottom six, guys, with your third and fourth line. Look at the Florida Panthers. Look at the Florida Panthers. Won 5-0 tonight against Carolina Hurricanes. Up 2-0 in the conference final, Eastern Conference final. And I'm hearing people saying, oh, you know what? It's just Florida. They're so dominant. Maybe we should run it back. I'm telling you guys, if you have that mindset, stop watching the Leafs. You don't want to win a Stanley Cup then. You genuinely don't. Because we have been seeing the same thing over and over again for the last 9 years with this team. It's very evident, guys, that it hasn't worked. Keith Pelly has seen it, and that's why he gave Brendan Shanahan his walking paper, guys. It's about damn time. I'm excited to see what this offseason holds for the Leafs. Probably the biggest offseason in the last decade for the Maple Leafs, guys. A lot of moving parts, guys. A lot of salary cap space for the Leafs if they choose not to extend Marner and Tavares, guys. It's going to be exciting to see what happens on July 1st, guys. But we all know that Brendan Shanahan will not be there to call the shots. And I think that is a very, very good thing, guys. That the Maple Leafs, the way they lost, guys, was the biggest reason why I think the Leafs made these changes. If the Leafs lost 1-0 in Game 7, guys, who knows if they fire Shanny? Who knows if they let him walk? Who knows? But after those 2 games here in Toronto, 5 and 7, it was time for a change. And Keith Pelly, well done on you for making the right decision. Let's see what happens, guys, with the Leafs, guys, on tomorrow with the press conference with Pelly. Let's see what happens on July 1st, guys. But really good job by the Maple Leafs to finally move on from this guy. Enough was enough. Keeping a hold of this core four for as long as he did was his demise, guys. And I'm glad he's finally gone and he paid for it, guys. But, guys, that's it for this video today. Thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content. Go Leafs, go, I guess. Right, guys? And remember, if you do not watch sports, you're more. Ciao, guys.